Hello, in this video, I'm going to go over a hand-picked topic in Chapter 11. In Chapter 11, in general, you are going to study transportation, how transportation is impacting supply chain management activities. And in this summary lecture, I'm going to talk more about transportation rates. So more specifically, in chapter 12, sorry, in chapter 11, you're going to learn different modes of transportation in addition to transportation's general impact on supply chain management. And also you're going to see what different modes of transportation can be strategized and planned for a specific company and what other considerations go into these kind of discussions and strategy building. And then how a specific company can use different modes of transportation to attract more market share. That's what you're going to study in chapter 11. Okay, so as I said, I handpicked this topic because it is a little bit complex and maybe sophisticated to understand. I'm specifically going to talk more about different types of transportation very briefly. We're going to take a look at the definition of freight and parcel, and then we're going to look at the full truckload and less than truckload transportation. And at the end of the video, at the end of this series of videos, we are going to study how less than truckload rate breaks are calculated so that we can get the right quoted price from the companies that we are dealing with. Hopefully these all things are going to become much clearer when I go over these slides. Um, so let's take a look at a typical definition of parcel. So parcel transportation or last mile delivery, you hear this concept very frequently. When we say parcel, we are usually talking about the packages that arrive to customer locations, like the retailers' locations, like packages that can be delivered directly to apartments and houses with no further assistance, like a pallet or like a forklift or like a big truck. So your daily packages that you receive from Amazon or other places, those are called parcel deliveries. Okay, so some companies say that parcel deliveries should have less than 100 pounds of weight, but this changes from a parcel transportation company to another. Some company might just say their system can only handle up to 50 pounds. Okay, so these weight and volume restrictions are not really a strict science there. So it changes from one company to another. So what is freight then? Freight transportation is any larger packages than parcel, basically. The packages that you cannot really, companies cannot really deliver to your location, for example, and maybe you have to go to their warehouses and pick them up, or maybe they have to, you have to book a portion of the truck so that a truck can come to your location, your warehouse, or your retailer. It doesn't matter where you're looking to get those into. If they cannot be delivered directly to your place, in smaller packages, then it is called freight. Okay, so if you're booking a portion of the truck to get you get your packages delivered, you get your freight delivered to you, then you're using a less than truckload service, because in that one big truck, um, it might be carrying yours and several others packages or the shipments or freight, right? So maybe your shipment, your freight is just this portion of this truck. And therefore this is called less than truckload transportation, because your truckload, your transportation, your shipment, your freight is occupying less than the full truckload shipment. And therefore this truck has to make several points, has to make several stops to deliver each of these different portions of the freight that it is carrying. So that's called less than truckload, less than truckload transportation service. And as you imagine, the full truckload is, you are booking the full loads of truck, and everything is yours. And of course, planning for this is much easier when it comes to pricing and planning. This is much easier, but this is much more efficient depending on your needs and resources, vice versa. Okay. Um, so, how does the price change when it comes to full truckload operation? The price really depends on the origin and the destination. So if you are sending your goods from A to B, what is the total distance between A to B, right? So because you're going to send a full truckload from A to B, or it might be just two trucks, right? One truck may not be enough, but the unit here is a full truckload, all right? Another factor would be the size and equipment of the vehicle required. Maybe you might request two trailers, right? So a truck can carry two trailers. Um, if you are requesting that kind of equipment, then your price is going to go up for sure. But your unit is again per truckload. When it comes to consolidation based less than truckload LTL, the price depends on many different things. The price depends on what kind of item you are carrying from location A to B. The class, these are mostly like the product families, like because different product families will come with different weight and density, product density parameters. I'm going to show you on the next slide what I mean by different product class. But just imagine that, if you are looking to transfer your, for example, Ferrari from one location to another, you probably are not going to use the regular car transportation. You might just want to prefer, booking up full truckload and then just, using your Ferrari in there, right? Versus, let's say, bottle of waters. Now, of course, these two different products are coming from two different families or classes. And therefore, companies have different price structure based on those parameters of a specific product. And of course, your price is going to be depending on your origin and destination, how far you're going to be traveling them through, shipment weight class, and then internally, your truck, because we said that you less than truckload these different portions of the truck container um, might belong to different customers. Therefore, if this truck is going from A to B, right, it might just make a stop here, make a stop here, or make a stop here to deliver the other goods. So some companies take these route into consideration when planning for your shipment from A to B, right? If A is far away from B and the truck has to make a lot of stops, right, to reach B, then your price is going to be higher. Okay, I hope this is clear. Um, so let's take a look at the total cost graphs of truckload and parcel, and then we're going to take a look at the less than truckload total cost graph for less than truckload operations. So the full truckload is here. So this is total cost, right? And this is changing by weight, or you can just put volume here as well, depending on your interest. So what's going on here is you are occupying one truck and it is, you booked one truck and this is what your cost is going to be up until a certain weight point. And you will have to switch to the second truck and then your total cost jumps up by one truckload, right? And that's your unit. And then if you need three, your total cost is going to jump one more. And if you need four, your total cost is going to jump like this, right? Um, this is pretty straightforward and easy to understand. So let's go back to the Parcel. Parcel, since we are delivering small packages under the name of Parcel, um, although the structure is the same, here, we are using smaller intervals when it comes to weight categories because we have smaller packages that are being delivered under the name of Parcel. But the structure is the same. So if you minimize this whole shape into smaller pieces, you would obtain this same structure. Okay. What about less than truckload? So let's go to the next slide. So less than truckload rates will look like this. Might look a little bit complex, but actually the philosophy behind it is very easy to understand. Um, Usually less than truckload companies give you rate tables, okay? And then those tables are either depending on weight or volume. Let's assume that now this is weight. And it basically tells you that, okay, between 0 and let's say X pounds, your rate is going to be $100, okay, per 100 pound. In that case, after some point, like for example, from X to Y, and they are going to say, since you are shipping more with us, we are going to take it down to, let's say, $90, all right? And then from Y to Z, I don't know what these breaks are. That's why I'm calling them X, Y, Z. And then this is going to further go down to $80 because we are shipping more with them. Well, if you look at the structure, since we have price breaks here, right? So first we have, higher price per unit, $100, and then $90, and then $80. We see that there are some points here. We call them rate breaks. Um, Here and here. Okay, so the rate break 1, rate break 2, rate break 3. We realize that although I am shipping less amount of goods in the first rate break, I'm paying more compared to what I have to pay in the rate break category or zone 2. How do we handle that? Well, we will have to find these rate break points, and what we have to do is we charge fixed amount between this rate break point and the next upper limit category in that zone, and here as well. All right. So we're going to study an example on the next slide, but this is the table or the class, set of classes that a company might be using, a less than truckload company might be using to quote their customers. For example, if you take a look at class 55, for example, it is composed of like bricks, cement, mortar, hardwood flooring, and what it basically says that weight range per cubic foot, it changes from 35 to 50 pounds. Right, so this is the classes are just to help the company plan for their pricing mechanism and hopefully for better communicating with their customers. For example, if you take a look at class 70, those are car accessories, car parts, food items, automobile engines, and they do have an understanding that their weight range per cubic foot is anywhere between 15 to 22.5 pounds. So depending on which class your product fits into, they utilize these class names, and they do have a rate mechanism that they offer to you. It usually looks like this, which is going to be covered in the next video.